The giraffe, with its towering height and graceful movements, is one of the most iconic animals of the African savanna. Known for its long neck, unique coat patterns, and gentle demeanor, the giraffe stands as a symbol of the African wilderness. In this documentary, we'll take a closer look at the life of giraffes in the wild, their habits, social structures, the challenges they face, and their vital role in the ecosystem. The giraffe is the tallest land animal on Earth, with males standing up to 18 feet, 5.5 meters, tall and females around 14 feet, 4.3 meters. Their long necks, which can measure up to 6 feet, 1.8 meters, are not the result of extra vertebrae, but rather longer cervical vertebrae. Interestingly, giraffes have only 7 neck vertebrae, the same number as most mammals, including humans, but each vertebra is elongated. Despite their height, giraffes have relatively short legs compared to their necks. Their long, powerful legs enable them to run at speeds of up to 35 miles per hour, 56 kilometers per hour, over short distances, which is essential when escaping predators. Their long tongues, which can extend up to 18 inches, 45 centimeters, are perfectly adapted to grasp leaves from tall trees, their primary food source. The giraffe's coat is equally unique. Its patches are irregular in shape and size, and they differ between subspecies, providing each giraffe with a distinctive pattern. These patterns help with camouflage, blending in with the trees and bushes of their natural environment. Giraffes are found across sub-Saharan Africa, where they inhabit savannas, grasslands, and open woodlands. They thrive in areas with abundant trees, especially acacia trees, which are their favorite food. Giraffes are highly adapted to life in these vast, open landscapes, where their height allows them to access food that most other herbivores cannot reach. They can feed on leaves, flowers, and fruits from trees as tall as 20 feet, 6 meters, well above the reach of smaller herbivores like antelope and zebras. While giraffes are spread across a wide area of Africa, there are several subspecies, each adapted to different environments. Some giraffes live in the dry, arid regions of southern Africa, while others are found in the lush, more tropical zones of East Africa. Despite this wide distribution, giraffes are often associated with the savannas and open woodlands of East and Southern Africa, where they are most commonly seen. Giraffes are social animals, but they do not have a strict hierarchy or a complex social structure like some other mammals. Instead, they live in loose groups called towers, which can vary in size from just a few individuals to as many as 20 or 30. The composition of these groups can change frequently, with giraffes joining and leaving based on their needs and the availability of food. Male giraffes are generally solitary, except during mating season, while females and their calves form the core of the group. Females are more likely to remain in the same group for longer periods, whereas males often leave their birth groups as they reach maturity. Giraffes are known for their calm and peaceful nature. They spend a significant portion of their day feeding, often browsing on acacia trees and other vegetation. Their long necks allow them to reach food that other herbivores cannot access, giving them a unique advantage in the wild. When giraffes move through the savanna, they travel at a slow pace, often in single file, with their heads held high to scan the surroundings for potential threats. They are excellent at spotting danger from afar due to their height and keen eyesight, allowing them to detect predators like lions, hyenas, and wild dogs from a great distance. Giraffes are herbivores, primarily feeding on leaves, fruits, and flowers from a variety of trees and shrubs. They have specialized tongues that are long, prehensile, and capable of wrapping around branches to strip leaves from thorny plants. The giraffe's tongue is also highly resistant to the thorns of the acacia tree, which is a primary food source. Giraffes are selective feeders, often choosing the tender leaves at the tips of trees rather than the older, tougher leaves lower down. Their feeding habits contribute to the ecological balance, as they help to prune trees and encourage new growth. Unlike many other herbivores, giraffes do not graze on grass, but instead feed almost exclusively on leaves. Their high browsing behavior allows them to coexist with other herbivores in the same area, as they do not compete directly for the same food sources. Giraffes require a large amount of food to sustain their massive bodies, consuming up to 75 pounds, 34 kilograms, of leaves and vegetation per day. They also need to drink water regularly, although their large size allows them to go for days without drinking if necessary. Giraffes have a relatively slow reproduction rate, with females giving birth to a single calf after a gestation period of around 15 months. Calves are born standing, and within hours, they are able to stand and walk alongside their mothers. This is vital, as giraffes are vulnerable to predators, and the ability to move quickly is essential for survival. Calves are highly dependent on their mothers for the first few months of life. They nurse from their mother's teats, and although they start browsing on leaves at a young age, milk remains an important part of their diet for the first year. After birth, calves are protected by the females in the group, with older females often helping to guard the young from predators. Males typically reach sexual maturity around 4 to 5 years of age, but they do not start mating until they are much older. Older males, called dominant bulls, engage in a behavior known as necking, where they swing their necks at each other in a form of combat to establish dominance and secure access to mates. While giraffes are powerful and well-equipped to defend themselves, they are not invulnerable. Their primary predators include lions, crocodiles, and hyenas, with lions being the most common threat. Adult giraffes are often able to defend themselves against predators using powerful kicks from their long legs, which can kill or injure a lion. However, young calves are much more vulnerable to attack. In addition to natural predators, giraffes face threats from human activities. Habitat loss, poaching for their meat and hides, and the expansion of human settlements are the primary challenges to giraffe populations. Poaching is less of a problem for giraffes than for some other African species, but it still poses a threat in areas where giraffes are hunted for bushmeat or trophies. Climate change is another growing threat, as it affects food and water availability in giraffe habitats, making survival more difficult during periods of drought. Giraffes are currently classified as vulnerable on the International Union for Conservation of Nature, IUCN, Red List, with some subspecies listed as endangered. Conservation efforts to protect giraffes are focused on habitat preservation, anti-poaching measures, and educating local communities about the importance of giraffes in the ecosystem. Several national parks and reserves in Africa are dedicated to giraffe conservation, offering safe havens for giraffes to live and reproduce without the threat of poaching. Conservation organizations are also working to monitor giraffe populations through tracking and data collection, as well as supporting initiatives to reduce human-wildlife conflict. Giraffes are one of the most remarkable and beloved animals in the world. Their towering height, distinctive coat patterns, and peaceful nature make them a symbol of Africa's wild beauty. However, as with many species, giraffes face significant challenges to their survival. By understanding their behavior, the roles they play in ecosystems, and the threats they face, we can work together to ensure that giraffes continue to roam the African savannas for generations to come.